Now that the election is over, Bloomberg Businessweek is taking a look at what comes next. For more, we are joined right now by Jon Meacham. He wrote commentary for this latest issue. Jon was a longtime editor of Newsweek, and he also won a Pulitzer for his biography of Andrew Jackson. Jon, thanks so much for coming into the newsroom this Friday morning. Glad to have you with us. You start by quoting Daniel Patrick Moynihan saying, "The center cannot hold." This is the idea of these rising extreme voices in the U.S. You have people on the left being more vocal. You certainly have people on the right in the Tea Party being more vocal. How did this affect the midterms?
It was a bad week to be a moderate. On either side. Center left, center right had bad weeks. So you now have a ever more liberal House Democratic caucus, and you have, and people inside the Congress will tell you, you have a almost true believer, purist, conservative House Republican caucus. And so you have very little incentive, frankly, for people to cooperate and to compromise, because if you compromise, that's a dirty word, and you're going to get a primary next time.
Yet, I mean, you're a historian. I mean, compromise is essentially how this country was founded.
Well, it's what James Madison gave us. And we're built to argue. We're built to do something, to keep things together for about 5 minutes, and then we'll undo it and do it again. When you look back, you know, most presidents, most Congresses, if they're lucky, are remembered for two things. And what we have at the moment is continuingly a economic crisis, structurally, it seems to me, that's as significant as anything since 1933. Stakes are very high. We have a lame duck Congress coming back, and you have a party system that rewards, as Senator Moynihan put it, extremes, and not, frankly, the passing of legislation.
It does and it doesn't, because when you say reward extremes, I mean, the Tea Party candidates did not do as well as perhaps they had wanted to, but yet that Tea Party group did seem to shape the dialogue. It seems like essentially an internal booster club, but some of the candidates were so extreme, I don't beg to say that they couldn't really be taken seriously.
I think that's true. I think when you have questions about witchcraft in a campaign, you're probably not on message.
Delaware race.
You're probably not on message if you're having to deny that you're a witch. That's just a guess. I think the Tea Party, though, is a symptom of something. It is a sense that there is one large establishment party in this country, essentially.
Right, but also frustration. I mean, today is Jobs Day. We're looking at unemployment. I mean, there are a lot of people who just say, my life is really not easy right now. I can't find a job. I can't pay my bills.
And I don't care if there's an R or a D behind your name. What I want is action. And the Tea Party, I think, is the first great symptom of what I think will be a shakeup of the two parties.
State of Nevada, the highest level of unemployment in the country, 14.4%. We saw an extremely bitter race between incumbent Harry Reid and Sharon Angle. I mean, her language was very extreme, calling people to look at their Second Amendment rights, which is essentially taking up arms to change government.
Right. This is how bad the Democrats' week was. When that's the great victory, when you beat someone that extreme and you're the majority leader, it's a bad sign. When Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who shot the cap-and-trade bill in an ad, is your great victory, you're in a scary place for the Democrats. But look how fast this moves. It has not been 24 months. It's been exactly 24 months since Obama stood in Grant Park, and now it was supposed to inaugurate a new era.
So, Jon, I mean, what does this mean? We have both extreme camps retrenching, sort of no one at all in the middle. So how do we govern? I mean, are we just going to see a lockdown, a freeze?
I think that's where we come in. I think that's where the people come in. And I don't want to sound too much like Andrew Jackson.
Or Jon Stewart.
Okay. But it's true. People, and in fact, the Businessweek piece, which they kindly hosted me, my view is that the people need to have some advice too. And the advice is consider the source, watch these partisan sources of media, calm down, just take a deep breath. And don't be satisfied with just two choices. Why do we have a free market in everything in this country except for political parties?
Well, I mean, I do, without joking, think that's why Jon Stewart had such a powerful 2-week rating series, because he did this, rally for sanity. I mean, okay, it was a bit of a PR stunt for his program, but I think there's a lot of people who identify. I mean, I remember we showed one clip. He was saying, look, 80% of the country is willing to compromise. We're going to demonstrate, but but only till 6 because we have a sitter. And he said, but unfortunately, it's really the voices on the end that are governing right now. What does this mean? You mentioned the lame duck Congress. I mean, there's Bush tax cuts. There's maybe a budget bill. There's a lot of work to do.
A lot to do. It's reminiscent of the Congress of 32, 33, when you have still serious jobless issues. Nothing like, blessedly, those numbers. But big jobs numbers, and that's the most populist political emotional cause.